Hey guys, thanks for joining us here at Salty Ginger Talk. If you're a returning listener, it's great to have you back. If you're new to the channel, really glad you joined us. Hope you like what you hear. So, for those that are returning, you know that our podcast is about cutting through the bullshit, stopping excuses, and taking control of our lives, right? We want to control our mindset, and by that, we control our future. And that's the whole point of what we're doing here. So, today we're going to get into something that hits hard, and that is taking control of things you do have control over in your life. Okay? So if you feel like life is just happening to you and that you're reacting instead of creating, this episode is going to hit home for you because we're going to give you tips and actionable items to take control of things in your life. A lot of this is stop doing or change how you're thinking, things that you're doing or thinking right now. So, as always, when we give these tips, we give scientific evidence, research, data that illustrates how these points are true. We give examples of what they look like in real life so you can see it and hear it and feel it and identify it so you know what's happening, as well as an actionable tip or item on each tip so that you can implement these things into your day-to-day life, because it doesn't do you any good to sit and listen to a bunch of stuff and then not take action. So let's just start there. You've got to take action. If you're not taking notes, if you're not specifically targeting things in your life to change, you're just fucking around. Like you're not taking it serious. And that's what we're encouraging you to do today. Take it serious. Start taking action. Start making changes. So with that, let's just jump into our tips here, okay? So the first tip is to stop blaming your childhood for your adult life. And I get it. Your childhood might have sucked. It might not have been fair. Really shitty stuff might have happened to you. I totally acknowledge that. I'm really sorry that you had to deal with that. A lot of people carry that into their adult life. But here's the truth. At some point, it becomes your life and your responsibility. I get it. It sucked whatever happened to you as a child. I'm really sorry that it happened to you. With that said, at some point, you've got to stop using it as a crutch and an excuse and stop letting it define you. Research from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology shows that while adverse childhood experiences affect development, people who take accountability and develop conscious self-awareness can override those patterns. Let me say that again. Adverse childhood experiences can affect development, but people who take accountability and develop conscious self-awareness can override those patterns. That means you're capable of overcoming those patterns and those thoughts. You can change them. You can fix them. Want a real life example? Let's talk Oprah Winfrey. Not an Oprah fan. Never watched her show, blah, blah, blah. But she's been wildly successful in the world. Built a media empire. A lot of people say in spite of, I say because of the tough things that happened to her when she was a young lady. She grew up in poverty. She experienced trauma. And she was told she'd never make it by multiple people. You're too fat. You're not good looking enough. No one wants a black woman talk show host. She didn't listen to any of them. She stopped letting past experiences and that type of feedback define her future. She wouldn't accept it. She said, you are responsible for your life. If you're sitting around waiting for someone to save you, to fix you, even to help you, you're wasting your time. You are responsible for it. You have control over it. It's up to you. Like our saying, remember our saying, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. It's that simple. So what's your action item on this one? How do you start to do this? Write down 3 things you're blaming on your past. I can't do this because I was bullied as a kid. I can't do this because I was abused as a kid. Because I was abused as a kid, I don't have self-confidence. Whatever it is, for each one of those, write down 1 step you can take to reclaim that power. It's not about denial. It's about ownership. It's about saying these things happened to me. I can't unring the bell. I can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. It is what it is. Those things happened. And here's how I'm going to stop them happening from going forward. How about you were physically abused as a child? That sucks. I'm really sorry it happened to you. But you're not a child anymore. You're an adult. You have free will. You have accountability over your own life. And you can say, every time I think about that or I have those feelings, I'm going to say out loud, I am an adult and I don't have to let those experiences define me. It can be that simple. Change your mindset about it. Refuse to allow it to control you going forward, and you have control over doing that. So you've got to start taking control. If you do that, it will free you from that burden that you've been carrying around all these years. You don't have to carry it around. You're choosing to carry it around. You've got to come to terms with it. You've got to learn from it, and you've got to move forward. Okay? All right, tip number 2. Stop making generic statements and use clear, precise action steps. So, what do I mean by that? How many times have you said, I need to get my life together? I want to be more productive. Cool story, bro. What does that mean? That's a wish. That's a dream. That's not a plan. Those aren't action steps. That's musing out loud. Look, we've all said things like that. We've all done it. I've done it. I live in a glass house, so I don't throw stones. But I'm very honest with myself about those things. You have to say, look, I'm not doing what I should be doing. I'm not taking control over things I have control over. Those types of thoughts are great, but they're absolutely useless without clarity and specifics. Okay? So, one way to think about this is when you want to achieve something, put it in the context of a SMART goal. S-M-A-R-T. SMART is an acronym. SMART stands for S, specific. The M is measurable. The A is achievable. The R is relevant. And the T is time-bound. Through decades and decades of behavioral psychology, there's been research that shows this dramatically increases follow-through because you have very specific action steps that you're enforcing on yourself. This is about you holding you accountable. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound, SMART goals. So in the real world, instead of I need to get in shape, okay, got it. How are you going to do that? That's a wish. Saying it that way is just a wish. What you can say is I'm going to go to the gym on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. and I'm going to walk on the treadmill for 20 minutes. Or I'm going to lift weights with my arms and shoulders on Monday, my back and chest on Wednesday, my legs and abdomen on Friday. Those are very specific. Those absolutely meet SMART criteria. It's specific. What are you doing? When are you doing it? It's measurable. We have a workout plan for each day. It's achievable. You can go to the gym 3 days a week. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. It's relevant because it ties into your goal of I need to get in shape. And it's time bound. You're doing it at 7 a.m. on those 3 days. Like it checks all the boxes. That's way different than I need to get in shape. I need to get in shape is a wish. It's a dream. It's not actionable. We need SMART goals around our goals. We need action steps, okay? So the action item on this one is just pick one goal. Pick one thing that's important to you, whatever it is that you've been saying out loud or dreaming about or talking about. You've been doing it for a while, right? You've got something like that in your life. You're going to rewrite it in the SMART format. Then put the first step on your calendar. Don't just wish, put it on your schedule. Don't just dream, start taking action. If you do that, you will develop habits. It will become who you are and what you do. And at that point, you'll develop what's called unconscious competence. You'll just get good at it because you've done it so much. You have a lot of things like that in your life right now that you're just good at because you've done them so much. Some of them can be good things. Some of them can be bad things. Like maybe you're really good at ordering fast food at restaurants because you've done it so much. Like if that's a regular thing for you, that's a problem. You got to change that. You want to be to the point where I know exactly what to do in the gym because I go to the gym so much, I belong there. I'm a person that goes to the gym. And you can get there if you use SMART goals, okay? All right, tip number 3. This one's super important. Stop fucking worrying about what other people think. Just stop. It's not their life. It's your life. And by the way, other people don't think about you anywhere near the amount of time you think they think about you. That should be something that's freeing. Most people aren't thinking about you. Most people don't give a shit about you. And even if they do, who cares? Fuck them. Who cares? Who are they? Why are they important? Why do you care what they think? Are they relevant in your life? If they're not relevant in your life, ignore it. Don't give it any credence whatsoever. But we think people sit around and think about us all the time. It's called the spotlight effect. Research from the University of Michigan found that we dramatically overestimate how much people care or notice what we're doing. But we think we're the star of everybody's show. Not true. Think about yourself. How often do you sit and think about other people? Not very often, because you're thinking about yourself. Guess what? They're doing the same thing. So quit worrying about what they think. Stop giving it any credence whatsoever. Elon Musk is a great example. You can love Elon Musk. You can hate Elon Musk. He doesn't give a fuck what people think about him. People laughed at him when he started Tesla. They ridiculed him and still try to for SpaceX. Like the people that ridicule him, ask them how many rockets they've launched. They love to say, oh, his rockets keep blowing up. How many rockets have you launched? Until you show me your launch pad and the rockets you've put into space, I don't give a fuck what you think about Elon Musk. And now, because he didn't listen to any of those things, he changed two industries completely. The guy saved astronauts in space. He had to go up, send up a rocket to get them from the International Space Station because they were stuck up there. Have you done that? Has anyone that's criticized him done that? Then they should shut the fuck up. It's real straightforward. And he did those things because he didn't care what people thought about him. He didn't let other people's opinions drive his decisions. You shouldn't either. So, what's your action item here? Do something this week that you've been avoiding because you're worried about judgment. Wear something bold and crazy. Say what you think, even if it's unpopular. Post the thing you've been sitting on, even if it's unpopular. Then pay attention. Most people won't even notice. There's 9 billion people in the world. What if 200 of them comment on your post? Cool story. That still leaves almost 9 billion people that don't give a shit about what you said or what you think. And if they do, if they notice, they're not paying your bills. They're not telling you how to live your life. They don't have a vested interest in your success or failure. Who gives a shit what they think? So stop giving it any weight. Stop worrying what other people think about you. It is absolutely useless. It's detrimental, and it's no way to build the life that you want. Okay, tip number 4, stop making excuses. Very straightforward. Just stop. Stop making excuses. We do it all the time. I'm not immune to it. I've done it. I do it. I try to minimize it or eliminate it. We're all human. I totally get it. However, excuses are just lies that you tell yourself to feel better about not doing what you know you should do. That's all they are. It's a way of rationalizing or justifying your laziness, your lack of follow through, and your procrastination. That's all excuses are. Plain and simple. 2014 study in Frontiers of Psychology found that people who make excuses have lower achievement and motivation. But those who take responsibility, those who take accountability, even for things that aren't their fault, take more action and see better outcomes. That's where you want to get to. When something goes wrong, your first thought shouldn't be, well, it's Jim's fault, it's Betty's fault, it's not my fault. Your first thought should be, what could I have done differently to prevent or avoid this or deliver a different outcome? That should be your first thought. That is avoiding excuses. That is taking ownership and accountability. David Goggins is a good example. Look, the guy's crazy. He's also a beast. But there's no denying the success he's had from developing that mental toughness and that no excuses mindset. And he had every excuse in the book. It would have been easy for him to make excuses. He had trauma in his childhood. He weighed almost 300 pounds at one point. He was poor. And he chose to stop making excuses. He said, enough is enough. I'm going to take control of this. I'm not going to allow any of these things to hold me back anymore because I'm allowing it to happen. I'm mentally checking out. I'm mentally giving up. I am making excuses and I'm not going to do it anymore. He got brutally honest and he took control of his life. All right? So Google David. If you're not sure who David Goggins is, Google him. The guy is a beast. He's also insane, I think. But there's no denying his success through mental toughness. So, what's your action item on this one? Write down your top 3 excuses. I'm too tired. I don't feel like it. I don't have enough time. Excuse, excuse, excuse. Now, cross them out, and next to each of them, write one behavior or habit that you can do instead. If your excuse is, I'm too tired after work, your action is, I'm going to do it before work. I'm going to take after work out of the equation. I'm going to take control of the situation, and I'm going to set myself up for success because I'm going to hold myself accountable, and I'm not going to allow myself to give myself excuses anymore. That's how you do it, okay? Stop making excuses. It's got to stop. Number 5, start utilizing your time to its fullest. That includes getting enough sleep and downtime and fun time. Your day can't just be packed with stuff so that you burn out. You can't just go for 18 hours a day and then sleep for 6 hours and get up and do that again on repeat. Now, are there periods in your life where that might happen? Sure, I've done that. It's not awesome. But sometimes if you want to get somewhere, you want to get something done, sometimes that's required. You have to ask yourself if that work is worth the payoff. If you think it is, good for you. But it can't be in infinitum. It has to come to an end. There has to be time to sleep. There has to be time to recharge your batteries. There has to be time for you to enjoy your life. Or what's the point of doing what you're doing? Okay? Now, I get it. We as a society glorify the hustle culture. We have for a while. I think that's changing now. I think younger generations are much smarter about that than like my generation, Generation X, and boomers. Like a lot of us lived to work. I think you should work to live. But while you're doing whatever you're doing, you should get after whatever you're doing. You should do it with gusto. But on the sleep point, a Harvard study showed that sleep deprivation lowers cognitive performance by up to 40%. And research by Anders Ericsson found that the best performers in sports, in music, in business, everywhere in life, the best performers prioritize deliberate rest as much as deliberate practice. So they go hard and then they relax. It's work hard, play hard, right? That's exactly where you want to be. But you have to be deliberate about it. You have to make it a priority to get your rest. You have to make it a priority to get your sleep, just like you make it a priority to do the work or do the workout or follow through or whatever it is you're grinding on. You have to apply that same mentality to the leisure part of your life. So, Arianna Huffington is a good example. I'm no Arianna Huffington fan, but she built a global media brand through hard work. And then she literally collapsed from exhaustion. She literally collapsed in her office. She pivoted from there and rebuilt her lifestyle. And now she runs Thrive Global, a company dedicated to well-being and performance. So there's a balance. Work hard, play hard. You have to have leisure time. You have to have time to recharge your batteries. You have to have downtime. You're going to burn out and you're going to hurt yourself mentally, physically, emotionally if you do that. If you don't schedule leisure time, it's going to come back and get you. I promise you. So, what's your action item here? The action item here is to audit your week. How do you spend your time? Track where your time went. How much was intentional? How much was spent on exactly the things that you said you were going to do? And how much of it was reactive? Sometimes it can't be helped, right? So you've got a plan in place and you get a call, your kid's sick, you got to go pick them up from school and get them to the doctor. It is what it is. Pipe breaks in your basement and you have to deal with a flood in your basement. You can't help that. That's part of the deal. However, how much time are you spending on social media? How much time are you spending watching TV? How much time are you spending scrolling on the internet? Those are all wasteful things that are unnecessary, that suck time out of your schedule. When you say you don't have enough time, you have to ask yourself, did I have time to do X, Y, and Z today? If you had time to do X, Y, and Z, then you had time to do other things. You just chose not to. So you've got to audit how you're using your time. But again, you've got to be intentional and schedule time for rest, schedule time for sleep, schedule time to recharge your batteries. On this schedule, though, you can schedule time for deep work. When's your best time? When do you feel the best? Are you a morning person? Are you an evening person? Are you a night person? Whenever you at your highest peak energy, think about time management more as energy management. When are you at your best, and schedule your really hard shit for that time? And when are you at your worst? Schedule your rest for that time. You're not going to be super productive anyways. Why not get your rest? Why not recharge your batteries? Who says that your work has to be done here or here? Now, look, if you work a retail job or somewhere you have to show up in person, I get it. That can't be helped. But you can schedule the things that are important to you around when you have the most energy, right? We're going to get rid of like zombie scrolling. We're going to get rid of useless time. We're going to schedule that time. If it's important to us, schedule it. Give yourself an hour or two every day. Fine. Part of your downtime, part of your relaxation. Totally got it. But you want to use your time on purpose. Okay? So, the whole point of this is taking control of your life isn't about controlling every single thing in your life. It's about taking responsibility for what you can control. And that's more than you think. That's where the disconnect comes. We think there's a lot of things out of our control that are actually in our control. And we spend a lot of time thinking about and worrying about and obsessing about things that are completely out of our control. We have to flip that script. We have to apply the habits and the effort and the energy and the resources to the things we do have control over. And you'll be shocked at what a big difference that makes in your life. We're going to stop blaming. We're going to stop wishing. We're going to stop waiting. Instead, we're going to start acting. We're going to start owning, and we're going to start living. That's the life that you want to live. You're the one behind the wheel. You're the one in the driver's seat. You're the one in control. It's your life. Take charge of it. Okay? All right, guys, that's the episode for today. Look, James puts it up over here every day. Don't forget to head over to our website, saltygingertalk.com. All our episodes are available there. We've got links to all our social media accounts there. We've got a newsletter that we publish every weekday. You can subscribe to there. And please like, share, comment, and subscribe to our podcast on whatever platform you consume it on. If this episode was useful for you, if you got good tips out of this that you can implement in your life and make your life better, send it to somebody who could use it too. We can all use a reminder on this stuff. It was good for me to make this episode because it's a reminder for me too. We all need to tell ourselves these things and kind of gut check ourselves every once in a while to make sure we're performing at the level we should be performing at. Okay? Look, great tips coming on more episodes, great interviews coming on more episodes. You don't want to miss them. Make sure you catch the next episode. We'll see you there.